All right. Looks like we are live again. Welcome to Red Smoke episode number 10. Oh, we got a little birthday over here. I don't know if you can consider this a birthday. Anyways, attention, citizens of the internet. The Hellraiser podcast just for you. Good morning, afternoon, evening, all night, ladies and gentlemen. The internet's busiest movie podcast. I was just joking with Alex about it. We are one of the greatest, most scripted, high-budget shows on YouTube. Oh, wait, we are not. So, Alex, we were just talking about some hate coming towards our channel.
No, yes.
I think it's like a first time we encountered something like that, wasn't it? It was like a comment. We didn't actually get it on Red Smoke, but it was on your channel, which I'm gonna read it out loud for everybody who's listening. So it was like a guy called Undead Chronic 14, or the Latin number 14, XIV. The comment was like, 2 weak-sounding Euros are slandering the red pill, ? Prepare for war. Alex, what are we gonna do about that?
Well, I think we should prepare then, because I'm very afraid. As you can tell by my voice, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I could have a very bad joke now about how you shouldn't start war with two Germans, but I won't do it. You know, it's like also I like is like 2 weak sounding Euros. I mean, say Germans, you fucking racist, man. Euros.
Yeah.
Who do I have talks like this? Anyways, yeah, don't no bad jokes about Germans in war. We would have a lot of time to strategize. We had a lot of time. Sounds like Germans will rise and take over the world, something like that. Oh my god, yeah, total world domination.
We went through that, didn't we? Yeah.
Man, to be honest, Hitler would be an interesting addition to the lineup of this podcast. I wonder what his take would be on the red pill. I don't know.
Oh yeah, good question.
I think seriously, like Hitler, what's your take on red pill? Shame he hasn't done a video since 1945. To be honest, that one he did in 1939 was a bit controversial, but
yes, a little bit.
Let's warm people up to the idea of Hitler. People going to know what the fuck is this stream all about?
Yeah, but I like this controversial start. This sets people up right. I like this.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta get people in the mood, man. It's like so if you can't deal with Hitler, yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop right here. It's Germany's smoothest voice and Mr. Self-Conquering. Clap for the Wolfpack kids. Great morning from Germany. Have a sensational night in America or wherever you are. Welcome to Red Smoke. Alex, you know what I really miss? I was encountering this in the past week. Do you, by any chance, remember the old school trailers? They had a certain way they did in the past. They had like an opening statement in every trailer. Like nowadays, they just do the Inception horns in like every fucking trailer. They're like all the same. But back in the days, they had like this opening statement. Like for example, if it was a Warner Brothers movie, it's like Warner Brothers Pictures presents the story of a dream come true. I was like, what happened to that?
Oh yeah.
There was always like a guy who, and it was like, he is a hardworking man who lost his wife, and then she is a girl next door. I was like, oh my god, what happened to those kind of trailers? It's like
maybe they don't have enough testosterone for such a new voice anymore. I don't know. This might be an issue.
Oh man, I don't know. Like, that's really something. It's funny because in the 80s or 90s, every trailer sounded the same. Like also with there was actually the same guy on any trailer, and it's funny because nowadays every trailer is also the same. Yeah. So
yes. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes you just have, or they have like a new idea. For example, like Inception did it with the trailer, and I remember when people said, "Damn, this trailer is like crazy with these horns. What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
And now everyone does it all the time because it's like dooming or looming. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a trendsetter trailer, if you will.
Yes,
I think
but you're
that
right. I
yeah.
miss these old ones as well. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, with like a melancholic piano music in the background, but like for a movie like Armageddon, you know,
Yeah.
where they're gonna save the world. It's so awesome, man. Anyways, Star Wars, right?
Yes.
Okay, oh yeah,
And
yeah,
great transition. I like
yeah,
that.
absolutely. Like I don't give a fuck. Like just get straight to Star Wars. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I have a
Uh,
question because I actually
sure.
don't remember the trailers for Star Wars,
Oh,
how they were made.
that's why I'm gonna put them up
Maybe I
on
should
the
have done
screen.
some work before that for this very high budget show, but I kind of forgot about that.
I'm really thinking about because everything like our pictures on Twitter and on YouTube are like black and white. I'd really love to do the whole show in black and white, even the red smoke trip, because like we have no money for color or stuff like that. So that would be like
Oh
a
yeah,
nice touch.
great
Alex,
idea.
let's be fair. I'm gonna put on the trailers right now. I hope the stream won't get taken down. If yes, we will probably know why. Let's be fair before we start off. Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9. If we're talking about 2015 until 2019, I was like December. Let's be fair. What do we like about it?
Wait, what do we like about it?
Yeah.
Mm, oh damn. Wait, I find something. Give me a second.
I was thinking about it, man. There's not like a single thing I could think of.
I'm really thinking. Well, maybe the CGI. Nah, I don't even like the CGI. No, no.
Yeah, that's the thing many people talk about, especially when it comes to Episode 8, to The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Everyone is like, yeah, the story is shit, and yeah, the like even the acting is weird. But everyone's like, yeah, but the visuals are great. I'm like, not even the visuals are great in this movie. I don't know.
No,
It
I
looks.
thought actually.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah,
No problem.
I thought when I watched it in the cinema that the CGI in episode 8 looked so. It's hard to explain, like a video game, pretty much, like but a bad one. You know, like an older one which doesn't have the graphics of these days.
Yeah.
It's not like it's pixelated or yeah unsharp or something like that. It's just it seems so plasticky somehow. I don't. It's hard to explain, but it
Yes.
looks
Yes.
weird. I don't know.
I would agree with that. There's a certain scene that comes to my mind when it comes to Episode 8, where Ray is training on this Irish island. I don't know, this Irish Scottish looking island. I don't know what's the actual name in the movie. And it was like filmed in broad daylight, and it looked like a documentary to me. It
Yes.
looked it
Yeah.
was
It
very
did.
off putting. It was very un Star Wars like, if there is such a thing. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Yeah.
Even if you think back to the prequels, which people don't like very much, but we're gonna talk about this.
Sure.
But even then, I thought the CGI was better to some degree. I know it had its own issues, but I don't know about episode 8. It was just weird. I don't know what they did with it because they spent huge sums of money on the CGI,
Absolutely.
but somehow it came out weird. I don't know. It's
Wait,
hard to
they
explain.
put the money in the CGI because they for sure didn't put the money in the script or somewhere else, So it
Oh yeah.
must have gone to the CGI. So Alex, let's go like chronologically. Prequels. You said you are not agreeing with the, let's say what most people would think of them, which is like a hate, if I may say.
Yeah.
So what's your take on the prequels?
Yes. I think people hate the prequels, and I personally never understood it. Maybe it was because it was exactly, or they came out exactly the time when I was growing up, so I just liked it as a kid. But I even rewatched, I think it was episode 3, yes, with Vader a few
Yes.
years ago. And I thought, why do people think it's bad? It's not really like, what's really bad about it? And I mean, I kind of understand it for the first 2 movies, why they would think that, because there's a lot of this, these weird animals. and weird creatures like Jar Jar Binks, for example. And I get why people would hate that. And this is usually what they say the most when you ask them. It's the Jar Jar video movies.
Yes,
And I'm
it's like
like,
the
all right,
yeah.
I get it. Yeah, this character is stupid, and I agree with that, absolutely. But I still think that outside of him, whatever, that these movies are not bad. And the story is actually quite great. When you see Anakin becoming Darth Vader, like his transition and his evolution there.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. And yes, I mean, I think it was in episode 1 or 2 when they go in this underwater city to the Gungans.
It was in
Of
one.
course, it looks yeah, one. Yeah, of course, it looks stupid, and these creatures are like weird. But you have to remember that initially George Lucas designed Star Wars as a children's like movies or series, whatever. And obviously, this came into the movies when he was directing it again later. I think the first movies, like episode 4, 5, and 6, were very mature in the way because there wasn't that sort of CGI where you could make such creatures at all.
Yes.
And you had to make them like virtually in real life. So I think they spared themselves these issues, except for Chewbacca, obviously. But yeah, I really think that the first 3 movies are not that bad. Obviously, they are establishing something, so they start slow. This just how the story sets up. Especially the first movie is a lot about politics and all of that.
Yeah.
So it takes a bit to get you going. But I don't think that they are bad movies at all.
Which one would you say is like a favorite one? Just talking about the prequels.
Yeah, the third one, definitely.
Right, yeah. I would agree with that. I believe. I mean, many people say like out of the prequels, this is like the strongest, and yeah, it just has so many great moments. I'm not even talking about the memes only. Just a good movie itself.
You mean the high ground, for example?
For example, maybe I'm talking about Hello There or some other stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's funny because
it's not the story I would tell you, of course.
No, of course not. No, but it's quite funny to me because the high ground scene many made actually fun of as well, that it's being stupid and all of that. And yeah, maybe, but to be honest, again, if I watched Star Wars, I wasn't like thinking too hard about the like fighting scene and how it's logical, right? Which is what people were saying. It's make no sense if he has the high ground, and why does this mean he's now like superior?
Well, if
And I'm like,
if you're saying like it doesn't make sense, well, lightsabers doesn't make sense.
exactly.
You know?
I was going to say, the people are jumping like
Yeah.
many meters into the air and like having the force to push each other around, and you were talking about the high ground being
Yes.
unrealistic. I mean, of course, it's the part of the movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's something about the third movie that is also you were saying that, and of course it's what George Lucas said as well, that the movies were originally intended for kids, or was like his demographic, and I would say like that the third movie, especially when we talk about the end, is not really made for children. It's a very dark, very mature
Yes.
movie, and
Yeah.
maybe that's the reason why. It's just a very well-paced movie. I like the whole atmosphere. There's this one scene which I would probably consider my favorite scene of the whole franchise, maybe of the prequels, where you have like 2 minutes of no dialogue. It's exactly in the middle of the movie.
Oh yes,
Where,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, where you have this ambient sound, and it sounds like a woman is crying in the background. It is very atmospheric, and Anakin looks out of the window and he's like crying because he's about to make a decision for her whole life, and very interesting storytelling without any words. Take notes, J.J. Abrams.
Oh, actually, that's interesting because I was just reminded of one scene on episode 8 I actually liked. Ha, there we are.
Oh, I'm very, very interested. Explain yourself.
Yes. Well, I say liked but only for the visuals, okay? Because in itself it was kind of stupid, but the visuals were nice. So I kind of enjoyed it. Let's put it that way. Or rather, from a cinematography standpoint, it was quite great. It was the scene when this starship,
Admiral
or whatever it was.
Lesbian, purple hair. Yeah.
Exactly, the lesbian purple-haired admiral, when she made a kamikaze
Yes.
move, and launched herself into these people. And the funny thing was not, or the funny thing, the good thing I liked about it was not the scene itself, because that's fucking stupid on many ways, but the visual that the sound was completely gone for a few seconds, which was intentional. There was no sound at all in that clip for, I think, 3-4 seconds. I don't know.
Yes.
And I was very confused when I was in the cinema. I was like, hey, did the sound just crash or something? What's going on here? No music, no nothing. And this later I learned it was intentional, and I thought, this is really a new idea I haven't seen before. At least I think it's a new idea. So that was kind of great, yeah. But the scene itself was stupid on many, many levels. So yeah.
We're going to get to that, and I believe it is one of the most terrible scenes ever put on cinema. I mean, from a logical standpoint, yeah, it looks beautiful, but well,
yeah, it's also from a universe standpoint, like the Star Wars universe. It makes absolutely no sense what they did. But anyway,
it crashes everything that has happened before, many things that might happen afterwards. I also like. I don't know if you. I don't want to get into episode 7 and 9 already, but have you seen like episode 9?
I actually didn't watch it completely because I couldn't. I just couldn't bear it.
Well, not everybody has the strength to do.
Yeah, I think I watched about, was it 20 minutes? I don't know.
Oh, you might have missed it. Yeah.
Oh damn!
Because
did I?
Yeah, because there's a scene where, I mean, the movie kicks off like pathetically and says like, by the way, Palps is back. Like, okay. There's like I don't even get the logic behind the movie, but there's like, okay, we have the bad guys in the end and we're gonna beat them. Then there's this actor from Lord of the Rings. I believe he plays Merry. You know which one? Also in Lost.
Yes.
And he says like, how about we do some Holdo maneuvers? Holdo is the purple purple hair lady.
Yes.
And there's like a person in the background who says, well, that's like 1 in a million shot, you know. Shut the fuck up, man. You're gonna take a ship and just drive it on a huge Star Destroyer and just say that's like a 1 in a million shot. All right, okay. Also, never tell me the odds, kid. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, it's like, so. I mean, it's really hard for me because when we talk about the prequels, it's really easy to tell. Maybe that's subjective, but I would say that the best movie is, of course, the third. I would say George Lucas has even learned a little bit in this time, and he put his whole talent into the third movie, and an absolutely beautiful movie, and it aged very well. The thing is, when we talk about the sequels, so episodes 7, 8, and 9, I would say there's also very clear which one is the best. I would say it's the 7th movie, by a nose length, of course. But the problem is, you know, you haven't seen episode 9 fully, but I really have a problem because I don't know if episode 8 or 9 is worse, and I just can't put my finger to it. I don't know. I don't know which of these movies is worse. There's like, I mean, I don't know. Episode 9 doesn't make sense like logically, but episode 8 has like destroyed everything in the first place. It's so hard to. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I don't know exactly the details about 9. I mean, I've seen other clips from it, and was virtually confused about it. But episode 8 was really just they took everything which was established in Star Wars or in the Star Wars universe and put it through a shredder and thought like, well, how can we ruin this thing completely?
It felt like a huge middle finger to the fans, to the audience. It was like with no real intention other than, aha, gotcha, you know. There's no real
Yeah.
substance to it. So before we dive into full rage,
Yeah, we're
full rage
skipping
mode.
ahead again.
Yeah. So episode 4, 5, and 6, better than the
Oh yes.
prequels or worse?
Well, I think they are better. Yes,
Hmm.
and but it's different. They are better from a storytelling standpoint, I think, or like from the characters.
Hmm.
My personal opinion there, but obviously, I mean, the visuals and like the cinematography is obviously not that good because they are very old. So obviously,
Hmm.
the prequels like win there. But yeah, I mean, but it's part of the story and how it has proceeded over the time there because 4, 5, and 6 obviously have much more like interesting story due to how the
Hmm.
story is set up itself. As I said in the beginning, episode 1 is mostly setting up things, so that's yeah kind of boring, quote
Hmm.
unquote boring. So that's where they lose against the
Yeah, but every time like people are like, episode 1 is boring, like episode 4 is extremely boring. We have like this scene with like 10 minutes in the desert. And you have like those two robots. I
oh yeah,
always
you're
I,
right.
I always skip that
Oh,
because
this scene,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah,
fucking boring to. I don't give a. I don't care if people say, well, like Star Wars is like a masterpiece. Fuck off. I always skip this scene. I just can't take. It's so boring. It's so fucking boring. Like nothing happens, man.
I actually forgot about these. What are these little guys called with their
I
coats?
think those Javas. I don't know if they.
Javas,
I know
yes.
that they are called that in German because I
Yeah,
obviously watch a German Star Wars, but I don't know if they are called Jawas in English as well. So yeah, it's,
yeah, I don't know, but this was you're right. This initial scene on Tatooine when he's like negotiating about these robots. I was like, yeah, all right, skip.
yeah, yeah. So,
That was you're right. That was very boring. Yeah, I agree.
absolutely. Have you ever like fantasized what the story could look like after that? After that party on Endor, after that bonfire, the end of episode 6, which is a beautiful ending. I just love this so much. When they were having like a huge party, and Luke is looking at those ghost visions of his father and of Obi and of
Yes,
Yoda. So it's such a nice ending. Have you ever like fantasized what the story will look like afterwards?
I didn't actually. No, I mean, we sort of got an idea from it,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Later, but I didn't like it.
Do you mean that's look when when the sequels were announced? I believe, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was in like 2013 when they have announced that, oh, there's going to be a sequel trilogy, directed by J.J. Abrams and stuff like that. Everybody went crazy and like, oh my god, the story continues. And I gotta be honest, I went a little bit crazy as well. I was like, oh cool, like the story will continue. I want to see a little bit more
Oh
as to what
yes,
happened. But uh,
absolutely.
but I was like also, I was like 50-50 because, as you said, the story is pretty much finished after episode 6. It's like what I would call a perfect ending. I mean, what else is there to say? You have like a perfect character arc. Everybody is like redeemed or has like reached their goal from a storytelling standpoint. What else is there to tell? But also, I'm like, yeah, okay. It's it's nice to see something else, and I wouldn't say back in the days that I was already foreseeing the let's say capitalistic agenda that the people had back in the days. I wasn't seeing the money making machine. I was just like, oh, that's such a nice thing. I was looking forward to Star Wars, like feeling like a little kid, and now I just realize how I got tricked there. To be honest,
Yeah, but hold on a second.
sure,
Didn't George Lucas like write 9 actual scripts?
exactly, and I think even if George Lucas would have done 7, 8, and 9, which I would really love to hear what the story would be about. I don't know how you would. I mean, what else is there to say?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just confused because I thought he actually had an idea for 789. I guess he did,
Mhm.
but I don't know if this like was ever released somewhere, or if it influenced JJ at some point. I don't think so because I would be very
So
confused about that.
as far as I know, George Lucas has been an official advisor when they produced Episode 7, but they completely refused his like ideas, his
Yeah,
script. So Episode 7, 8, 9 is a complete Disney original. Nothing
yeah,
to
you
do
can tell.
with yeah, obviously. I mean, yeah, it's like, crazy.
Yeah, but you're right about your original point. It was pretty much, especially how it ended. I mean, episode 6. What was there really to tell about? You're right. And so when it came out, like when the trailer was released, I watched it multiple times because I was very very hyped for it. This trailer was very well made for
Oh
episode 7.
yeah, there were actually like three trailers. I don't know
Yes, I
which one
think
you're
there were
talking about because
3. Yeah.
there was like one huge teaser, which started off with Finn in the desert, and he was like
Yes,
heavily
exactly that
breathing.
one.
Oh my god, that trailer
Yes.
went like I remember when that came out. I don't know what were you thinking?
Yeah, it was crazy. The internet really was going completely
Absolutely,
crazy about that.
yeah.
And I think it was exactly 10 years after episode 3, if I remember correctly, when
That would
this was
be
launched, something like that.
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I saw this and was like, "Oh yes, I want to see this," because I've always been a fan of Star Wars, and I just like the story arc in and of itself, and the characters, especially Vader, obviously.
True.
And so I always liked it, and I was like, "All right, let's have more of this." But I was also a bit hesitant, especially when I heard that George Lucas is not directing it himself. I was like, "Oh man, I don't know if this really." Yeah, that's weird. And let's see. That was really my how I looked at it. Let's see what it's going to be. And yeah,
Yeah, it
I
was.
mean, episode 7. Yeah, I'm not going to skip ahead. We're going to talk about this later.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about this right now. I mean, it's it should be primarily a rage, and I don't think there's much to rage about. For when we talk about episode 1 to 6. Um, you know what? Let's just first of all, have you been like in the cinema in episode 7? I believe obviously you've been there, right?
Yes, I've watched 7 and 8 in the cinema. Yeah,
So same for me because 8 was like the nail in the coffin. It's like no,
exactly.
that's that has been my last one. I'm done. It's like it was
Yeah,
like a real heartbreaker. I gotta say, I wanted the movie. I wanted the movie
good
to
one.
be good. I really wanted it to be good. Trust me. It's
Yes.
I was going in there and I was really like I wouldn't say like emotionally incontinent and thinking, oh my god, I need this movie to be good. Otherwise, my life is gonna suck. But I was like, man, I would really be happy if the movie would be good. You know, it's like something to dream about. It's like a little something for a little kid. I think from time to time, that's a nice thing. But goddamn, was I wrong?
Oh, yes. Very wrong.
Oh
The
my
funny
god.
thing was, I was pretty much thinking the same when I went into it. I was just hoping for it to be good,
Yeah,
virtually
yeah.
hoping. So this like epic saga isn't destroyed. And it was funny after I came out of the movie, I was like, I don't know exactly what's wrong here, but something just doesn't feel right. That was my
Yes,
first
yes.
initial reaction. And after watching some scenes again and thinking about it, I realized what was really happening. I realized that there was an agenda at play, big time,
Oh yes.
and this is what ruined it mostly for me. Apart from like bland characters and no like complete senseless story arcs and all of that.
Yes. I kicked empty soda cans that had more character than Ray. I seriously, there's like
Well
for
said.
there's like for me a very specific scene. You said you felt a little bit of weird when you came out of the cinema. As for me, I felt a little bit of weird after I think exactly 5 minutes when there was like this "your mama" joke. I was like, oh no, something's wrong with this movie.
Oh yes.
Like
Yes.
this is not okay, guys. This is not okay. And
You're right. Now that you mention it, this was my first reaction as well. I was like, hold on.
yeah.
Am I watching Star Wars
Yeah.
or is this like some parody or some shit?
Also, there's like yeah, yeah. It was very. It was taking me off the movie, and what was very interesting is I was in a cinema as well, around midnight, and it was very interesting because like 50% of the people were like laughing their ass off as if the best joke ever told
Yes.
was put on screen, and 50% were like, okay. And I was like one of those 50%. It was really interesting because the movie kind of also split the fan base, and I think it it already happened in those first 5 minutes because the movie kicked off and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna go, and then well, I got a story for his mother, and I was like, oh no, man, no. What the fuck?
Yeah, I guess they thought, let's just split this right at the beginning so
Yeah.
we know who is on which side of the thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And you're right, this Your Mama joke was very like, as you said, it took me completely out of the movie right after 5 minutes.
Right.
Because I was thinking about it and I was not immersed into the cinema experience anymore. I immediately started thinking, so, hey, hold on a second. What is going on here? And because Star Wars has never been about funny jokes. I know there have been jokes or even like, yeah, quote unquote funny scenes with Jar Jar and all of that shit, but it was kind of a like, yeah, he tried to liven the mood a little bit with that kind of character,
It's
but
also
not like a direct stupid joke like a Your Mama joke. And I was like, that was so. I don't know if JJ maybe tried to like bring in some humor to make it more yeah funny and more emotional, and it just failed completely. Maybe, I don't know, or they just thought, yeah, fuck this thing completely, let's just make a stupid joke and that's it.
Well, I gotta say one thing. I really hate J.J. Abrams to my life. I swear to God, I hate this guy. But he gets humor a little bit better than Rian Johnson. There were actually like one or two scenes in Episode 7 which made me chuckle, which are really like I would consider this good humor. It's like this first scene where this football robot puts out his like thumb. It's like a thumbs up with his.
Oh, yeah.
That was like
Yeah,
good visual gag comedy. It's okay.
Yes.
Also like
Yeah,
the
you're right.
like the little exchange where Han Solo said to Finn, "Well, that's not how the Force works." Like so, it's like in character. It's
Yes,
a
yes,
very
you're right.
it's like a good humor. It's not like, oh yeah, I fucking laughed my ass up. It's like okay, but when we talk about like Your Mama joke. I believe we have to talk about tone because, yeah, as you said, there has always been some kind of humor. I would say very dry humor. When
Yes.
you say humor, I always think about Episode 1, and Obi-Wan is like trolling Qui-Gon and said, "Well, the negotiations were short," and it was like it's like trolling. It's like
exactly.
trolling. Yeah, that kind of humor. I would say very
Yeah.
mature humor. And yes, I am bearing Jar Jar in mind, but it's like in character. But having like a Your Mama joke is very also puts you out of the experience because it's a very, I would say, pop culture reference kind of joke, you know, because Star Wars like a story a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy that
Yes,
someone there is
exactly.
like saying, "Oh yeah," it's just, yeah, very crazy.
This it really just maybe Jar Jar Abrams watched this one clip once. I forgot what it's called. It's virtually like a YouTube parody of Star Wars, and with some sort of like figurines. I don't know exactly how they do it, and I forgot the name. But anyway, there was an episode with Your Mama fight between Palpatine and Vader, I think. I don't know exactly.
Right.
Oh damn!
Alex, I just tuned out. I didn't get the last sentence there.
Yeah, there was some sort of
Oh, it's
interference with your mic.
No problem.
But anyway, yeah, maybe he watched this kind of YouTube clip and thought, "Oh, that's gonna be funny. Let's put that in the video and the movie, rather." But anyway, I want to get back to this humor thing because what I have noticed over the years, because people are always very split over Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And I always said that even though it's like designed as children's movie or movies rather, and it has these things with these Gungans and all of that shit, I do still think the story itself is actually very mature. And what they talk about these topics, especially when you look at Anakin's character and when he becomes Vader and why he does it and all these things that happen to him. And like the mentorship between him and this whole Padawan thing in and of itself. And I mean, there's also a lot of politics in there, right? So it's not like truly a completely children's movie, even though it looks like that visually sometimes. The story and the characters, I think, are sometimes very mature, and they make mature jokes like Obi-Wan, as you said, did in the beginning, because that fits them. And I think this is also where the new movies are very confused, because they try to be this sort of children's funny movie to some degree, but also they then have to make these mature like scenes when there's virtually a war and politics involved and people trying to get there, like to manipulate people, especially the dark side and all of that. And then they are virtually confused how they get this together. And I think this is also what splits the fan base so much, because one of them want these mature videos or movies rather that make like a lot of sense and have the sense of political and social topics.
Oh yeah.
But on the other hand, you have people who just want to see some lightsaber fights and the Force and pushing people around and space battles and all of that. And this just it doesn't really go well together sometimes. And this is, I think, where they were confused in the new movies mostly.
I would say that that George Lucas had a very good talent in disguising certain ideas. He was like clothing ideas in his like space opera thing, but it's actually a very simplistic idea he had. You know, like a classic hero journey, a classic Macbeth, Shakespearean kind of thing that was going on there, including a little Wookiee and you know some crazy creatures, but essentially it's a very simple story which deals with very psychological things, very human things. They did good, our boy George. He did well. Unlike
yes, of course. I mean,
Unlike
I mean, it's not like the crazy deep story Star Wars in and of itself.
No,
Obviously
not. Really.
not. It's like it's good versus bad, and what someone does or will do to protect his people, and the problems that might come with it, pretty much, which is what Vader did, right, or Anakin. And although this is a lot of his story is like something I could talk about for hours, I think, but in the end, it's like not super deep, but there's always some real life info in there, some real life things you can take away from it, I think.
Yeah, I like what you said about that it's basically like good versus bad, and it's pretty obvious which one is good and which one is bad in the first six movies. And I was really hoping, because that would be like a very logical and interesting way to continue this whole franchise, because you have like the fight between good versus bad, and I'd be like, okay, if you do episodes 7 to 9, now go one step further and get a little bit of gray morality in there. Show that no side really is right or, wrong. That would be an interesting take, to be honest. Probably not for everybody, but yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked the idea of a character who is versed in the light and the dark side, but is like using both of them properly and is not leaning to one or the other too much, but he knows both. Pretty much because what Palpatine did, he said, he need to be versed in both the good and the dark side, but then he became a dark, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So I would have loved a character who actually knows both sides, but is wise enough to use both of them. This would have been very interesting, how he does it and what he has to battle or fight with himself to be that guy. Something like that.
I was thinking about someone.
But yeah.
Think about a character, someone like Qui-Gon, who is a little bit more than just like a straight thinking guy. It'll be very interesting to see more of him. Anyways, let's go to the uninteresting things because they're way more entertaining. So yeah, I would actually argue that episodes 7 to 9 are very, very amusing movies. I really enjoy watching and rewatching them. If you haven't seen like episode 9, maybe we should do a watch together and have a little laugh if we get the time for it. Because,
Maybe, yeah.
Because it's really worth it. So let's kick off with episode 7. Actually, let's kick off with the opening crawl because that's where the first problem starts. Actually, with the first sentence in the opening crawl. So I got it right here. I got the movie right here. I'm gonna skip through it occasionally. So the opening crawl says episode 7, The Force Awakens, and the first sentence is like Luke Skywalker has vanished, and that's already fucking problem. What the fuck's going? I mean, the sinister First Order has risen from the ashes of the Empire. And it's like so crazy because furthermore, it says that General Leia Organa leads a brave resistance. She's desperate to find her brother Luke and gain his help in restoring peace and justice to the galaxy. I'm like, the movie left us with peace in the galaxy, you know? What the fuck happened? How did they like messed it up?
Yeah, and the only explanation you get is because Luke vanished and suddenly everything broke down completely. Like it's really this one guy like ruling over the whole galaxy that it is in. Especially like I would have liked to see a movie about how this all happened from episode 6 to 7. That would have been
There's
interesting.
absolutely no world building at all. This is absolute bad storytelling. I mean, how did the First Order rise when the good guys had the power? You know, that was the whole point of the end of episode 6. Like, the good guys basically won. What the fuck? It doesn't make sense.
Especially because the First Order in that movie is like a huge thing with like Starkiller bases and all of that.
Yes.
How did this all happen? I would have expected them to start up small, like small, basically a resistance on the bad side, and then get better over time. I don't know, but they are already established completely as this Hitler thing, and I was like, how did this even happen?
There was also such a cringy scene. You probably remember that. This. I mean, there's like reference. There's like inspiration. It's like straight copy, which brings us back to Hitler. Actually, oh yeah.
Yes,
we were anticipating it. Yo, no, really, it's like that was such a cringy scene. And I remember I was in the cinema and people were actually laughing at it, and I was also like, I can't really take that seriously. Such a cringy scene.
Yeah, it's just so on the nose, you know. They couldn't make it any more obvious that these are the bad guys.
Yeah. If anybody in the cinema was like, are they like the good guys? Maybe. And I was like, okay, we gotta make it very clear, JJ. What is like your idea? I was like, oh, I got it. You're gonna make it like a Hitler knockoff. We're gonna check. Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean, they even did the arm raising, right?
Yeah. That was so cringy, man.
The Hitler greeting, pretty much. It wasn't obviously not exactly the same, but it was close to it, and it was like, come on. Could it be any more obvious? They really just needed a swastika like on their banners, which is the other way around or something like that to make it a bit more obvious.
That's a good old JJ storytelling. So the movie kicks off on the desert planet, which is again like another problem. It's like, come on, another desert planet. It's just like many critics refer to it as not Tatooine, which is pretty funny. So except the twin suns, it's like basically the same.
Yes.
So we have like a resistance pilot, Poe Dameron. He receives a map to Luke's place from some guy. I don't know. And it's also a very 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 huge problem. So you have like in episode 7, everything is about this map to Luke. And episode 8 kicks off, and episode 8 kicks off, and he's like, I don't want to be found. Like, why the hell did you made a fucking map to find it? This is there's so many problems to this, man.
I guess he was drinking too much of that milk.
Also,
because that makes a whole lot of no sense at all.
You remember the scene at the beginning, right?
Of which movie now? 8.
Alex, can't really hear you right now. I just adjusted.
Is it better now?
Oh, looks like a little audio problems over here. Let's try it out again. Alex, try to drop out of the call and then drop in again if you can hear this. Sorry, everybody, for the inconvenience. Just little audio problems over here. Should be working in a minute.
No, I can't hear you. Hold on.
Let's do a little check. Alex? Oh, I'm gonna start off again. No. Alright. Alex, do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Looks like I can't hear him anymore. Well, like I said, it's a really high budget show. It's very high quality. I mean, we got a little problem here. I think we're gonna be able to manage it in time. If you're online, if you're watching, hang in there with us. Be a little patient. Be working on it. Alex is just writing to me that he is gonna reboot it really quickly. I think it's gonna be back up in time. So yeah, we were just if you're just tuning in, we were talking about Star Wars Episode 7, and we were talking about the opening crawl with a huge problem of the world building actually. And now we are, like, narratively speaking, at the very first scene, or if you could say a first scene of the of Episode 7, where Poe Dameron, the so-called best pilot of the Resistance, is provided a map to Luke Skywalker, and where the huge problem lies within there. Actually, yeah, from a storytelling standpoint, I would say that if you also, if Alex is not there at the moment, I would probably ask him, but I would really like to know a few answers to this movie, and especially Episode 7. I mean, there's this huge mystery box thing about J.J. Abrams, if you think about it. He actually boasts in it.
1, 2, 3.
Alex is back online again. I cannot hear him. I can still hear him. Alex, if you can hear this, there's some problem over there. I don't know what's going on. It's really strange. I get it. I mean, you can see your icon is blinking. You can see there's something coming in, but I just don't hear anything. It's very, very weird. I can't do anything there. It's very, very strange. I'm gonna try it out a little bit longer. If it doesn't work out, we're just gonna end the stream, try it again. Right. Let's see if there's anything going on. Yeah, really, really strange. So Alex just wrote me that his tests work. Seems to work. And yeah, Alex, I can see your icon blinking. But for some reason, you just the audio just gone from a point. I don't know. It's very, very weird. Let's try it out maybe. I don't know. Alex, say something. Right, still nothing. Right, Alex, I'm gonna try to start Discord again. If it doesn't work, I believe we have to quit. Just give me a second there. All right. Let's try it out. Hope you're still there in there. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let's try to get the call back on. Alex, what's going on?
Greetings.
Oh, still nothing there.
Oh, damn.
It's very bad. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Something broke. Something went down. Something about the audio. I can still his signal coming in. I can still see that his icon is blinking, but for some reason, yeah, something went wrong there. I don't know what, but yeah. I think we're gonna have to end the stream. It doesn't make much sense this way. I'll try it again. Okay, I think we're gonna do a reboot on that one. Gonna try it again. It happens from time to time. Alright, so everybody who's listening, sorry on behalf of both of us. It happens. It's just, maybe it was just bad luck. I'll try to find out the problem behind it. And, yeah. Maybe you're gonna see the reboot of the stream sooner than you think. Alright, I'm gonna